It's Inspiration 1390, hanging out with your sister Marcella Jones, and I am so excited to have Chicago's very own Todd Dulaney hanging out with me this afternoon. Todd, how are you?
I'm good. It's good to see your face.
Same here. I like your background. That background is what's up.
Me and wifey was just taking paint and just throwing it on the wall one day, and it was kind of like a little, freaky game. I can't really share the fullness of it, but we was painting our wall, throwing all this paint on the wall, and the Lord is good and kind.
It's the pandemic situation, right?
Yes,
It's
yes.
the
In
pandemic
the pandemic, you got to be
situation.
creative. You got to be creative in the pandemic.
And speaking of the pandemic, how have you, been able, to just kind of get through? Because these are certainly different times that we are in right now, and we
Yeah.
have to look at everything differently now. How have you been able, to just kind of get through all of that?
Well, just like you say, you just kind of gotta get creative, in all of this because this is different. And then not just that, we got to realize that it's stuff more important than music even going on. I mean, we got
Yeah.
injustices, inequality. We got, we're fighting for equality for Black people, and so I mean that is in itself
Hmm.
more important than any type of music that we can create. I mean, I know we use the music to help out, but it's just so much going on that's more important than a lot of different things. And so I think that's why I'm able to kind of cope with the pandemic, because the pandemic I think is right on the right time because we get the chance to sit down and see what's what and kind of really engage what we need to make it to the next level.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what you've got now, because there's something for everybody to get out of all of this. To be able
Man,
to
yeah.
sit down and kind
Yeah.
of reflect. But how were you able to? How were you able to explain this to your kids?
Oof. Everything, just everything. Uh, I think the best explanation for them, Marcella, is just that.
How were you able?
Yeah, I think the best explanation is just that you don't have to go to school. Like for them, that was it. That's the only explanation I needed to give them, and they were good.
Right.
Good. I'm like, you can stay at home. You you can
You don't need to
chill,
tell us
and
nothing else.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They love that, and so they've been at home learning, e-learning. If God would have given me that, I just think I would be so much greater today if He would have given me just stay at home from school, and,
Right.
and
And watch cartoons on Saturday
yes,
morning. Come on
yes,
now.
yes, like e-learning. What I would be sleep with my camera off all the time, but
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And so, because of these times that we are in, how have you been able to, just kind of do your music thing? Because
yeah,
everything has changed, as far as, it's out here. You normally tour, you normally, going to churches, going across the sea and, doing all these things.
yeah.
How has that been?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. We were coming off of such a big momentum in music with Your Great Name, Victory Belongs to Jesus. So, the royalties were really they were very sustaining in the pandemic, that I was able to still fund the movement. Like, so if we needed to record, I was still able to
Hmm.
pay for it all and make sure that while we're in the pandemic, and pay my team. Like my team stayed on salary the whole
Wow.
pandemic. And so my whole band, my singers, I was proud to be able to do that because I didn't want them feeling like they were abandoned, where they had to go and do something that they really
Hmm.
didn't want to do to make money. And so yeah, so we kept doing music and we were sustained because God set us up for the pandemic to be financially stable.
Wow. Now that's a
Yeah.
blessing to be able to do
Mm-hmm.
that. God is amazing to see you
Yes,
still be
indeed.
able to bless, your team, even in spite of
Yep.
everything that's going on. So now, Ty, I
Absolutely.
gotta ask you this question, Lord. You
Come on.
know,
Come on.
I gotta ask you this. So now, of all people that we expect to see in the news, we never, okay, we never would expect to see Todd in the news straight going in. But here's the thing, Todd. I never ever second guessed it. I never ever judged you. I never ever looked at you any
Praise
differently than
God.
I never ever, because first of all, I know your character.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is that we have to always understand that people are human.
Yeah.
And during these pandemic times,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
ain't nobody
Try.
playing. Don't
Yeah.
play.
That's right. That's right, Marcella.
Like,
So yeah, I mean, there ain't, I as far as temperament, it's nothing really new to me as far as I've been a professional athlete. I mean, you got to have a certain type of temperament to even engage in professional sports,
right.
and that is a spirit that won't back down to anybody. And in this situation where I ended up being in the news, there was a gentleman that approached me that felt like, I guess, he was going to bully me, and he was going to, he was upset that he felt like I was taking too long at the ATM. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, plenty of ATMs,
Right.
don't worry about this one, go to another one. And but he felt like he was going to bully me, he was going to cuss me out right away to get me to move from this ATM and go to another one. And I wasn't, I wasn't in the mood for it, and I wasn't moving from where I was. And so I exited my vehicle, and I asked the man, I said, hey, are you good, are you okay? And then he could continue to cuss and be loud. And so I gave him his options. And, ultimately I just, I just told him, hey, you have a couple of options. You can wait and be quiet. You can go to another ATM. There's one in the front of the building. You can go to that one. Or you can make me move, which that one I welcome, because I know you can't do it. And so,
Right.
and I didn't obviously say them in those words. He pulled, after that, a Karen on me. He went and told the police that I said all these things that I didn't say. I just gave him his options, and I don't think he really liked that too much, because of the fact that he knew that man to man, he was outmanned. And so that was just, and that was a situation that I ended up getting in trouble for. But I mean, not real trouble. It was just it was like you say, it was just more of the humiliation of the fact that I am a man of God, and that I should have probably stayed in my vehicle and not even engaged them. So yeah.
But that's the human side that we all make mistakes.
Yes.
And so I appreciate even the way you embraced it. But I got side note. I gotta commend you for how you checked them in the way that you did.
I had to.
You have options.
Yeah, you have options.
I gotta use that one. You have options.
Yeah, you have options. I mean, we I mean, the conversation was at a high. He was already cussing, so I'm sure my words weren't wholly unto the Father, but I did give him his options, though. I told him, you can do these 3 things. And I'm sure that getting out of the car and making me is not one of the options that he wanted to choose. And he didn't.
Right.
And so, but he said, you know what, I'm just going to use the weapon that a lot of racial injustice people use. And he said, I'll just call the police and tell the police that you said something that you didn't. And I know that at least I have that in my pocket, and that'll work for me. And it did. Yep.
And what a way for you to come back, man. If I could have just hit you in your back and said, man, go. What a way to come back from all of that. To go right there in that same spot. Well, not the same spot.
Absolutely.
But you went there and held a concert. That was amazing.
Absolutely, Marcella. It was that was my purpose. When I felt like the enemy had shamed me in the city, I was like, I said, okay, but let me respond with this, because I know who I am, and I know what good I bring to the city that I call home. I know that I bring good publicity. I know that I bring positive energy, and I know that also I bring an anointing that destroys yokes. So let me go ahead and redirect some of this negative attention that the enemy sent my way. And we held one of the biggest pandemic concerts outside, where everybody got a chance to stay in their cars, and it was massive. It was sold out. And not only that, we sold like an additional 1,500 tickets online. So it was just, and I did it, and I did it again. The Lord allowed me to do it on my own financially, and which, which I really wanted to just say, here, devil, I see what you're trying to do, but bam, take this. And we were able to see souls saved and the whole 9 yards.
What the enemy meant for bad, God turned that thing around and made it good. So that's the amazing part. And speaking of your ministry is so dynamic. First of all, I got to give you your kudos, okay? Because a couple of years ago, when we were all able to go to the Stellar Awards, they asked the question on, I don't know if you remember this. They asked the question on stage, who did we think would be the person to win the album of the year? the CD of the year.
Uh-huh.
And I typed this the first time I ever just involved myself in anything like that. And I typed in Todd Dulaney.
Uh-huh.
Do you know when they came back to the stage and said the winner is Marcella Jones? I said, Lord Jesus, I will never forget that. So I got to give you your kudos because I was able to get me a nice new iPhone.
Wow. Look
because
out. Let's
of
go.
me saying that you were going to get this, that you were going to get that seat, that you were going to get the Stellar Award of the Year. And you did. So your ministry, Todd, is just so simply amazing. And it reaches so many people, so many age barriers. Your ministry is just amazing. How does that make you feel that, you're still able to reach so many, even in the midst of a pandemic?
I'm floored really because not many people have this type of success, and I understand that. Like every day, I got to stop and think about that. Like people don't just release song after song and have them go to the top of the charts. Like it's common for me, but then I got to stop and say, "Dang, like this is really a thing," and not just that, but like I'm embraced in Africa and South America, and I mean, and get huge embracings. Like where we go there, and the numbers are outrageous of people that come out to see us, and it's unreal, Marcella, for real. Like my life is you would never think I was a boy walking around Maywood, Illinois, and now all of a sudden now I can walk the streets of Africa and people sing the songs that I sing. So it's crazy.
But I think it was because of your sacrifice. I mean, you were,
it had to be,
a pro
Marcella.
ball player. I mean, baseball player, and you simply walked away. You were obedient to God's calling. Marcella, how many people can do that?
Marcella, you talking now. Listen, I'm
like, Lord, are you want me to leave this change and this money, God?
Man,
to go into an industry that I'm not really sure about.
Let me tell you something else. And I can't even tell you the fullness of this. I can't tell you the fullness of this. But God just asked me for something else. He just asked me for something else. He said, if you give this up, I got you. It's a whole nother level that you have not touched, that I'm about to send you to, but I need you to give something up. And I can't share it because it's so personal to me. But like you just said, the key to elevation is when you say, God, I will yield whatever it is that you ask me. He asked me to yield baseball to him, and he would do what we now see. And then in my personal life right now, he's just asked me for something else. And I'm just telling you that because over the next 10 years, I believe he's going to do more because I'm about to give him this. I mean, this is something that he's been talking about the last 3 days. He said, son, I know how much you love this. Give it to me. And I promise you for the next 10 years, I'm about to breathe on you like never before. I said, Father, but I love this more than anything I've ever given up. More than baseball. And so he said, Todd, but if you give it to me, I promise you, I got you. So you just get ready to watch something because I'm giving up something that I love and he's about to snap for real.
Well, we shall be watching because I mean, just to see all that God has done, right now for you, just down through the years for you. And I never forget we had the conversation about when you gave up the baseball and to walk away from that. Not many people will be able to do that. Now, just speaking about, your music, you got some new music out.
Yeah. Revelation 4.
What's up with the
new music? We singing the Bible, man. I done messed around and fell in love with singing the Bible over the people. What I was telling somebody earlier today, I said, they're like, what is it about singing the Bible? This is the thing. It takes my perspective out of the picture. I feel like a lot of pulpits, a lot of music get distorted with human perspective because I got a way that I feel about what God's saying. And when I sing my perspective, it may be slanted towards how I really feel about what God said. And I'm trying to eliminate that. I'm just going to sing what he said and let everybody else just deal with that. If you don't like it, don't deal with me. Deal with God. I'm just singing what he said. And because of that, he's responding because he's like, you can't fail when you send my word out. So I just been sending the word out. This new song is Revelation 4. We digging into one of the I guess craziest books in the Bible, and we're singing it over the people.
Yeah, not many of us deal with that revelation. Like we went on, I'm gonna go to just chapter 1, not even chapter 1, chapter 1, page 1, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we don't really want to deal with that. Revelation is too much of what we're dealing with
Absolutely.
today. And so that says a lot about, where your ministry is going and what we can
Yeah.
expect from it. So I am looking forward
Wow.
to this new deal that you got
Thank you,
going
Marcella.
on. Now, also before we go, are we going to see you doing some reality television with the fam one day
I
soon?
don't
This
know.
this this Delaney land, is it Delaney land?
You know what? I think I'm gonna act. I know I'm gonna act. Like I want to be on
Okay.
TV. I want to, I want to before at least while I still, got my swag. I want to be on, So I am gonna act. I don't know if I've stayed away from reality TV just because I wanted to give my kids a chance to just be
Hmm.
kids. Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to get them too involved in the world of trying to
Hmm.
be something for the people.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing is a pressure that I don't envy people that are at the top, because I mean this is a real thing. I even in gospel music, my little success can be pressure. It can feel like pressure because everybody's watching your family, everybody's watching you. What if I
Hmm.
want to fight with my wife in public? What if I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like what if
Right,
she
right.
I can't do none of that stuff. Like the incident that happened even with the man at the ATM. I can't do nothing because it's like, everybody is always watching and you always
Hmm.
have to live up to the standard of being God's anointed. And so I didn't want to put that on my kids, and so I've stayed away from it. But I am, I'm softening up a little bit because
Okay.
they're showing more and more of like they're just crazy.
Well, I tell you, we enjoy it on social media, because going through the pandemic, you're always looking for something. Who's doing what? And
Right,
everybody's on social media right now,
right.
doing something just to try to get through this craziness that we're all
Uh-huh.
dealing with. And so when I stumble across a is it Delaney video? What is it? Delaney
Delaney
Land?
Land, yeah.
When I come to a Delaney Land video, it's like, what are they doing now? So it's always so great to see you, to see how well you trained your dog. That should tell you I'm a fan. I watch the videos.
Uh-huh.
You trained the dog so well, and just to see all of these videos, I don't know, it helps us to get through, everything that we're
Aw.
facing right now. So I love you on
Love you,
doing, with your
Marcella.
family, the wife and the
Yeah.
kids. I love that. So it will be great to see that. I don't know if you're gonna do it, but we'll take you even acting. We'll take
Just
that too,
maybe,
Todd.
yeah. Maybe.
So how can they get the new project?
Okay, so it's Revelation 4,
Is it out
and
yet?
and it's available everywhere that digital music is sold. So I know people like Tidal, some people like iTunes, some people like Amazon. Wherever you like to get music, it's there. And again, it's called Revelation 4. And then we got another project that's gonna come out, a full project. It's coming out in the summer of this year called Anthems and Glory, and it's loaded. Like I got a little bit of everybody on there: Tamala Mann, Kiara Shears, Smokey Norfolk, Todd Galbraith. It's loaded, and I think it'll be probably my biggest and best work yet.
How do you get the titles to these projects? Do you go to the mountaintop? Do you go
Anthems
to the
and Glory,
mountaintop for
right?
about 12 days? Like, because these titles to these projects are amazing.
Anthems and Glory,
Revelation,
right?
Anthem. Like, who thinks of titles like that?
I just be thinking, I'm thinking like what my life has become. Like that's my life. Anthems
Mhm.
and Glory. Like I try to write the anthems of the body of Christ, like the biggest songs that all the churches sing. I'm intentional about that because I know that unity produces glory. So I be trying to write the song that I know that the whole world can sing. So when I thought about it, I said anthems and glory. That's what we do. We write anthems and we produce glory. Let's go.
Wow, that's what's up. That's it. That's it. Well, Ty, I appreciate you
Thank you,
so much
Marcella.
for taking out some time today. And I just believe that God is going to do so many amazing things in your life. You think that He's done what He's done
Right.
right now. You already know. You already know that the best is definitely yet to come. And we're so grateful to call you our own,
Yes.
Chicago's
Yes.
very
Thank you,
own
Marcella.
Todd Dulaney. Thank you so much, Todd.
Thank you.